these are the houses that come after the active houses. So the first house is an active house. That's an example of one of them. So this house comes after a different active house. And it's kind of like the house of accumulation. You know what I mean? Like you accumulate and you're holding things. And that's why I said this house seems to represent, and all succeeding houses represent what you have, because when I break them down or talk more about them, you're going to see we're usually talking about something that you have or you've accumulated, whatever that is. So this house that we're going to talk about now is the fifth house. Just like the other house, it's associated with the fifth sign in the zodiac. And the fifth sign in the zodiac is Leo. It's the sign Leo. Now, Leos are typically, there's a lot that can be said about Leos, but things to take into consideration, especially as you're listening to this segment. Leos, they typically are big on fun. They're big on fun. They, I think they love the concept of royalty. Or they may not say it. Some of them might say it, but there's this concept of how I should treat you and you should treat me, and they're very fixed. There's that word, fixed. I knew I was going to find a way to use it. They're very fixed on that and how that should be. Like, our relationship should be this way. My job should be this way. My money should be this way. They're very fixed in that, and they tend to want bigger and better things. Leo is a sign that I believe that likes luxury. They're very showy. To me, they're almost like the peacocks of the zodiac, if you will. Like, if you think of a peacock, they have they'll stretch out their little feathers and they'll have all these colors and stuff like that. It also reminds me of Mick Jagger, who happens to be a Leo. He would like strut on stage. He was known for doing that a lot. And to me, the energy of Leo is very, very similar to that. So why did I bring all of this up? Just to give you the idea of the flavor of the fifth house. So just like Leos are big on fun, the fifth house is big on fun as well. That's actually what it represents. Fun. It's the fun house. It's the house of play and self-expression. All sorts of self-expression. So we might think, many of you out there might have a different idea of what that means, but all of what you guys are thinking is what that includes. Some of it we'll talk about. Like, for instance, an athlete, an author, actor, someone who creates entertainment via themselves or through others can have an active fifth house. By active, I mean they have planets that fall in that house. So if you have not looked at your chart yet, or if you have, you may have noticed that there are 12 houses and there are 10 planets. So obviously you can't have a planet in every house. The planets where you find, the houses that you find planets are the houses where there's focus, there's attention for the person in question. So if you've seen your chart and you notice that there's planets in certain houses, that means this house is an area of focus for you in your life. So if you find someone that has maybe 2, 3, 4, or something like that, like a loaded fifth house, the fifth house is important to them. And this could be someone who is creative in some way. They could be an athlete. They could be play a sport like football or something like that. They could be an author. They could write books, poetry, or something along those lines. They could sing. Because remember, I said this is the house of self-expression. And all of these are a form of self-expression. They can end up being an actor. And of course, all sorts of entertainment. So that's the self-expression aspect of it.